Today on X-Play. Ready, aim, fire. Get ready for an all-shooter episode. It's game time. Yeah,
Prepare to be reviewed.
Adam Sessler. Morgan Webb.
Prepare to be reviewed.
Prepare to be reviewed. This is X-Play.
Hello, and welcome to X-Play. Okay, admit it, people. As much as you love calculating your brain age and creating piñata llamas, there is nothing as fun in video games as good old-fashioned shooting and killing.
That's right, today we're devoting the entire episode to first-person shooters. That's right, the games that prove Hobbes was right and Rousseau was full of crap. By showing that deep down inside, all we want to do is harm other creatures by firing projectiles at them, from a first-person perspective.
Of course. Now, we will be telling you all about the shooters you should be playing to satisfy your inner John Hinckley Jr. Games like Halo 2, the greatest sequel since that Star Trek movie where they look for the whales.
We'll also check out Half-Life 2 Episode 1, the really fun game with the really dumb name.
And later in the show, we will look at Gears of War. It features a difficulty level called Insane, but contrary to rumors, this level was not designed by Mariah Carey.
But first up is one of the most groundbreaking shooters of all time. Just what makes it so groundbreaking? Is it the weapons or the enemy AI? Or the graphics? No, it's the fact that it's the first game ever to come out for the PS3 and not suck. Here's our review of Resistance: Fall of Man. Hey, it's Killzone. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's an actual game. This is it, Resistance: Fall of Man.
You're with me, let's go!
The premier game for the PS3, developed by the reliable creators of Ratchet & Clank, Insomniac Games. The game takes place in an alternate 20th century, where World War II never got off the ground because some type of virus has unleashed hordes of creatures upon Europe, leaving only a pocket of survivors in Britain.
Kiss air support, goodbye!
America hasn't been affected, but they do get involved, which is where you come in. You fight, and then you get infected, and that's when things get really bad. The game is obviously an action game, and that's with a capital A. Insomniac has thrown in everything but the kitchen sink, with massive battles, corridor crawls, boss standoffs, weapons, and a wide variety of creatures to square off against. All of this is wrapped up in a package that has some of the best pacing ever in a game of its type. But let's get to one important factor, the graphics. This is standard definition, and it doesn't look like much of an improvement. High def does look significantly better, although it's not close to the now comically overstated promises from Sony. That being said, it's a very attractive game whose look sets an effective mood as the tension increases with each ensuing chapter. And tension is at the heart of the game, as some of the large-scale battles with supporting allies feels hopeless and overwhelming, as inventive munitions scream every which way. This is coupled with lonely excursions through devastated locales where careful thought and weapon usage is essential to continue. Plan to frequently vacillate between careful strategy and frantic gunplay. And what weapons you have. A special note is the auger, which shoots through walls and becomes more powerful coming out of the other side, while also capable of generating a shield through which you can attack your enemies. I want this alternate reality. From the more humanoid to the terrifyingly immense to the malevolently emaciated, the game shows remarkable creativity in design and implementation, coupled with wicked artificial intelligence that prevents replays from feeling identical. Although this always gets to me. As with Ratchet & Clank, though, the true achievement of the game is the way in which these elements are laid out. You will die often, but the gameplay is so satisfying that frustration is infrequent. A bigger issue is knowing to put down the controller and get to bed, and then get up and start playing again. Saying this is the best game for the PS3 is damning it with faint praise, because look at the competition. But despite elements that might feel borrowed and familiar, there is no other game that combines them with such polish and a sense of adventure. Man, this game is fun. A 5 out of 5.
Resistance is so good, it's almost worth waiting in line for a PS3 and getting shot for.
It's a little too soon.
I didn't get to the punchline where I say it's so good it'll give Senator Tim Johnson a brain hemorrhage.
Coming up, Halo 2. And later, Gears of War on X-Play.
Brought to you by Doritos. 2 new flavors, 1 survives. You decide.
It's Attack of the Show, tonight at 7 and 11 p.m. Eastern. Victims of numerous friendly fire incidents, it's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to X-Play's special all-shooter episode. It's the only episode where I get to say, pop a cap in your ass as much as I want.
We're looking at the first-person shooters you should be playing, so you might want to ease up on the Generation Z multitasking and pay attention. That's right, close the IM. I said close it, not leave the icon open in my system tray.
Our next shooter had a tough act to follow, kind of like the Secretary of the Treasury after Hamilton, or whatever the show that was that used to come after Heart to Heart. But Halo 2 did the impossible, not only matching the expectations set by Halo, but surpassing them. So here is our review.
The big green hunk of metal and tubing that is Halo's Master Chief is a bit of a video game character anomaly.
For a brick, he flew pretty good.
You see, the Chief wouldn't be caught dead in a spandex jumpsuit.
Tell that to the Covenant.
Chief also takes substance over style, and so does Halo 2, with frenetic gameplay that will leave you breathless.
Could we possibly make any more noise? I guess so.
Master Chief thought he had finished off the Covenant when he blew Halo into shards. Master Chief returns to Earth a hero.
You look nice.
Thank you.
For the Covenant commander held directly responsible for Halo's destruction, things aren't so posh. After taking his licks, he's sent on a suicide mission to stop the Chief. And, oh yeah, the Covenant have discovered Earth's location. They're not happy. The fundamentals of warfare are still in place. You have a limited number of weapons you can carry. Grenades are mapped to the left trigger. And taking out aliens' gun with the butt of your gun is still one of the most satisfying things in all of video games. You can now carry a gun in each hand. And it's fun to just mix and match to find the best results for each enemy type. This complicates tossing grenades, but we got over it pretty quickly.
Grenade, it's mine! It's mine! Hey!
Very bad thing!
Another important addition is the ability to jack vehicles at any time. It makes some parts of the game seem like Grand Theft Auto crossed with a giraffe on roller skates. Many of the old weapons have been revamped, like the Needler, which is no longer worthless. There are also some new ones like the ever-powerful Energy Sword. With smarter allies, new enemies, new weapons, and incredible gameplay, Halo 2's campaign is a dozen hours of eye-blistering, synapse-searing bliss. Just about everyone will find something to like about Halo 2. Well, except for maybe the ladies.
Oh, I know what the ladies like.
All right, maybe they'll like it too. We give it a solid 5 out of 5.
Master Chief is my favorite Chief since Chief J Strongbow.
Yeah, he was okay. But when it comes to, ethnically insensitive professional wrestlers, the greatest of all time was the Iron Sheik.
Man, wrestling used to be awesome, and then Cyndi Lauper had to come along and screw it all up.
Girls just want no one else to have fun.
Yeah.
When America needs a hero. When freedom stands alone. When justice needs to be upheld, there's only one place to turn. Through the cover of night, America's top agents will defend our liberty from those who wish us harm. Let us join Special Agent Bob and Secret Agent Steve, 2 of the finest official unofficial Splinter Cells.
Hang on, I'm gonna check my email. Oh my god, what the hell?
Whoa, man, put that away.
Not mine.
Well, that's true. If it was yours, she'd be getting violated by donkeys.
Oh, shut it. You were the last person on this computer.
Wait, just because I was on it last doesn't mean that the porn is mine.
It just popped up when I started the computer.
It just popped up.
Yeah?
Porn doesn't just magically pop up. Besides, if it was my porn, it would star your mother.
Never talk about my mother again.
That's what she said.
It doesn't even make any sense.
Yes, it does. Steve. Steve, are you mad?
Yeah, you like that? You want some more of that?
Feel better?
Look, just once, I want to do this job without you constantly hassling me. Now, could you just help me move the body?
Huh, that's funny. Your mom said the same thing to me last night, only instead of help me move this body, she said help me move this.
I warned you, but no, you had to be a smartass. Well, now you're dead, and I'm not reviving you. And that was my porn.
Join us next week when Steve and Bob disarm more terrorists with their amazing cunning and stuff.
Oh, hello there. I'm Special Agent Bob.
And I'm Secret Agent Steve.
Steve, get out of the way. Oh, sorry. We all had a lot of fun here tonight, and so did Steve's mom.
What was that?
Nothing. I said, hey, what's up? But, of course, we all know that internet porn addiction is a serious problem.
The best course of action to take if this problem persists is to be shot in the crotch. Like so.
Here you go, buddy.
Shh. The only way to overcome your addiction is to have Bob shoot you in the crotch.
We also find this works with drug and alcohol addiction.
As well as addiction to nicotine and World of Warcraft.
And as for Steve's mom, well, no amount of crotch shooting will stop her from being a whore.
Coming up, Half-Life 2 Episode 1. And later, Gears of War on X-Play.
We'd love to show you the world's next great video game. There's only one problem. You haven't created it yet.
Go to my website now.
They will find you, but they're not sure yet if they will hunt you down. It's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to the X-Play Shooter Special. That kind of makes it sound like we're offering half-price Jell-O shots.
We're celebrating the very real joy of virtual killing by running down the top first-person shooters. Next up is a game which is the first of 3 episodes, which are sequels to a game which itself was a sequel. And we could explain it to you, but we'd rather just get to the killing. So here is Half-Life 2 Episode 1.
This is our train. Let's get in.
Oh, a train ride. I love train rides.
What's that? Brace yourself.
Make it stop. Oh God, just make them shut up. Thank you. You're again in the dystopic future. You have a gun that plays with gravity. And you've got a mat on for guys who wear masks. Lady Violence is singing that tune, the one we call Half-Life 2, Episode 1. Okay, first off, is it weird to anyone else that they called it Half-Life 2, Episode 1? Are they gonna call the next one Half-Life 2, 2?
You're not serious, are you?
They gave it the moniker of Episode 1 because this is the first of 3 episodic installments continuing the story of Half-Life 2. Moments after the catastrophic events of HL2, a bunch of bizarre alien shaman chant you away from certain doom. Confused yet? Here's some violence to make it all clear. Yeah, that's all you really need to know. It's time to once again unleash the continually destructive nerd in a souped-up hazmat suit, Gordon Freeman.
Jesus, Gordon, you're a real terror.
And holy does Valve deliver. The action comes in bursts of orgiastic chaos. The graphics are absolutely top-notch, and each moment of the game is gripping. But it's not just the action, whether it's a touching moment between Alex and her giant robot gorilla thing.
We'll catch up, don't worry.
Or the occasional patches of gallows humor.
What's the password?
I'm not even gonna tell you to shut up.
Come on in.
Valve truly makes the characters of Episode 1 feel alive. Unlike that other Episode 1 movie.
The story of Star Wars really starts when Darth Vader is a whiny 5-year-old brat. And then there's Jar Jar.
Thanks, Gordon. Because you have Alex alongside you almost the entire time, it feels very much like a co-op game. Without the actual co-part. But it isn't a glorified escort mission. Alex is smart enough to take care of herself. There are a few new enemies, one being a head-crabbed combine soldier.
Zombine, get it? Hey.
The AI is tougher all around, and the use of maximum firepower is highly recommended at all times.
The force is actually caused by MIDI. Greedo still shoots.
The only complaint could be that it's so short. It clocks in at only 5 hours, but Episode 1 never claims to be a full-blown new game, and at $20, it's a roller coaster ride well worth it. A 5 out of 5.
And when Vader...
I've been thinking, there's all these great first-person shooters, and there's also tons of good third-person shooters, but when are we gonna see a second-person shooter?
Wouldn't that just be a game where you're always getting shot?
You know, you really should visit outside the box sometime.
After the break, it's Gears of War on X-Play.
We are educators helping people build a foundation for the rest of their lives. ITT Technical Institute, education for the...
Owners of 7 of the world's 10 rarest muskets, it's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to X-Play, where we're devoting this entire episode to the gory goodness that is first-person shooters.
Now that the network's down with the concept episodes, maybe we can finally do my idea of an episode about the great brain books.
Or my idea about an episode about Nicole Kidman's long path from glamorous starlet to looking like a monster.
But for the moment, we're still talking shooters. And next up, we've got one of the latest and the greatest. Leading us into the next gen of shooters, it's Gears of War.
OMFG. By that we mean, oh man, finally, Gears of War. The game we've been waiting for since before we even had our Xbox 360s. The game that will justify the small fortune you spent on that 60-inch plasma TV. The game that will make you say, Halo what? Okay, maybe that's a little too much hype, but the folks in Redmond should breathe a sigh of relief because Gears delivers on all its lofty promises of innovative shooter gameplay and true next-generation graphics. In short, Gears of War is the masterpiece everyone but Kaz Hirai has been hoping for. Let's go! So, why is it so great? It starts with the story. You are Marcus Phoenix, disgraced soldier from the elite Gears unit who was freed from prison in one last desperate attempt to fight off the Locust Horde.
Welcome back to the Army, soldier.
A monstrous race that rose up from inside the Earth-like planet Sarah years before to bring humanity to the brink of extinction. All the requisite twists and turns are thrown into the plot, never seeming too ridiculous or strained. And the Gears that fight alongside you in your 4-man squad are given just enough personality to stand out without being stupid caricatures.
Who loves you, baby?
The destroyed beauty of the world of Sarah, a once noble society teeming with culture and art, now reduced to rubble, acts almost as another character in the game, with detail only made possible by the power of a next-generation console like the 360. Oh, how I love you, pixel shaders! You'll battle your way through its glorious ruins, sometimes on branching pathways that offer a little replayability to the single-player campaign. But what really stands out about Gears is the gameplay. Far from relying on the conventions of your standard FPS or third-person shooters, Gears takes the best of those games and creates something new. A new kind of gameplay that truly blends action and strategy as well as fun and realism. The designers call it stop and pop. You stop at cover and pop your head around corners or over obstacles, much as you would if you were actually being shot at by a huge beast-like creature wielding automatic weapons. Or so I'm told. Using cover is crucial, and is the thought behind the game's entire control scheme. The A button is your all-purpose don't get shot button, allowing you to duck behind cover, move from cover to cover, jump over stuff, and my favorite, run like a roadie at Ozfest. The control scheme in Gears takes a little getting used to, but it won't be long before you're in the groove of running from cover to cover, shotgunning around corners, and lobbing grenades into huge locust-spewing emergence holes.
Got it!
But even though Gears of War looks great and plays great, it's very, very tough. Enemies play almost like other humans, using cover wisely, flanking your position, and being harder to take down than a bull moose in heat. Or so I'm told. Because it's everything we expected and a little bit more, we give the glorious Gears of War a 5 out of 5.
This episode might be a special episode, but I hope it doesn't think it's so special it doesn't need to have an X-Play replay.
Resistance got a 5, which brings the average score for PS3 games up to a 1.01.
Halo 2 got a 5 because Halo got a 5 and it was at least as good as Halo, so by the laws of formal logic, it has to get a 5.
Half-Life 2 Episode 1 got a 5, but its crazy name got a 0.
And Gears of War got a 5 because the 5 train has left the station and there's no stopping it now.
Okay, enough of us talking. Now you go. It's video viewer mail, and today's mail comes from Jared in Oklahoma.
Hello, Adam Morgan. Nice to meet you over the TV. My name's Jared. I'm from Oklahoma. I have one very important question. If Jesus came back to play one video game, one console, what would it be?
Jared, it would of course be presumptuous of us to pretend to know the wishes of a religious figure who is temporarily back from the dead or whatever transcendent realm he normally inhabited. That being said, I think it is clear that the game he'd be playing would be Cooking Mama.
I actually think he spent all his time on Earth trying to find and destroy every single copy of the song Jesus Take the Wheel.
Yeah, if you enjoy allusions to niche celebrities like Carrie Underwood mixed in with your video game information, why not take a little cyber walk down to g4tv.com/xplay. You can watch all of our reviews there. Try to find the one where we make the Dwight Yoakam joke.
This statistically improbable sudden spike in country music references is brought to you by XPlay.
Today on XPlay.